Hey, what's up, y'all? As always, it's fantastic to be with you again on this Friday for Insider Ties. This week, we're going to jump into on running. And I wish this was real time, and I went out of focus there, but I wish this was real time because I could ask you guys who are listening if you had ever heard of on running. Now, a couple of years ago, during the Super Bowl, The Rock wore a pair of On running shoes, and I thought it was interesting that he was an Under Armour person wearing an On running shoe when he was making the announcement for the Super Bowl. Maybe a year before that, Roger Federer left Nike to go to On running. But if you're in sneaker culture, and most of you guys that are watching this channel, you're probably a little bit more on my age group as far as sneaker culture is concerned, so you like talking about this business side of things. Even you younger guys that are interested in investing in the stock market and stuff like that, you probably follow the channel for information about that. Now, first off, I'm not an analyst. I'm not certified. I can't tell you what to invest in. I can simply say, hey, did you know that On running is on the stock market now? And a lot of people will probably be like, well, what's the stock market, or how are they on the stock market? Okay, what you have are you have public companies, you have private companies. And public companies tend to be traded on the stock market. So On running, if you never heard of it, is they make these shoes called Cloud Runners. And maybe over the last year and a half or so, they've had a considerable boom in interest from the specialty running category. Now, does that mean that they should go off and go public to where they no longer are serving their investors? They are going to serve shareholders, which becomes people like us who decide to use an app or get a broker and buy shares of stock. So they launched their shares on Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday, Tuesday or Wednesday, and it's doing very well, right? So it's up, and expectedly so. Now there's a reason that it's up, and there's not particularly a reason. There's a lot of people who have a belief that On running is going to be very successful. I see On running in the same light as Under Armour in 2005. Now, what happened with Under Armour in 2005? They went public. Now, at that time, Under Armour did not sell shoes, so they had to grow their market share. Because once you go public, you are no longer answering to a private group of people. You are answering to anyone who holds shares of that stock. On running has to do the same thing. But here's the issue. Do we look at On running and say, hey, they got a lot of money, they're probably going to ramp up hiring, they're also going to go and try and reach a new demographic, and they're also going to open more doors, right? Because Under Armour had to do the same thing. Under Armour had to find a way to generate more income to satisfy those shareholders and to get people to continue to buy shares. Now, the more the shares are traded, the more valuable they become, the more money the company has to work with. When you're a private company and someone gives you money, it's called raising a funding round, right? Well, On had done that. They had gotten to the point where more than likely nobody was going to buy in at a really high valuation on a company because all of these people had invested money into On running. So the company was born in 2010. So now they're at a point where they can't really pursue another funding round. Think about it in terms of a startup, right? And they had to go out and do this public filing, and they did so. So you can go to the website. I'm going to put the link down here so you can go and read the prospectus. But in the prospectus, I found a really interesting piece of information that's going to help On. And it reads as this: a company with less than 1.07 billion in net sales during the first fiscal year, we qualify as an emerging growth company as defined in the Jumpstart Our Business Startups Act of 2012 or the Jobs Act. An emerging growth company may take advantage of specified reduced reporting and other requirements compared to those that are otherwise applicable generally to public companies. Now, what does that mean? That means certain things On isn't going to have to report on for at least 2 years, right? And that's if they don't kind of shoot through the roof and start making a ton of revenue. So for at least 2 years, they're going to be able to just grow. Now, if somebody's like, hey, should you invest? I can't tell anybody that. But in my head, I'm going to say, yeah, because I remember when Under Armour came on the scene and they shot up to that $45 level, and you got in early because I think it started at $12 or $13, you did really well on the stock market if you had shares of Under Armour. But then Under Armour had to really prove that they were growing, and they had made a lot of acquisitions that did not help the company. So On Running has 2 years to kind of cover any flaws or mistakes that they made. What does that mean for you guys ultimately? Well, here's the question that I want to ask. Is the fact that On Running is not known to a wide array of people, only people who have been running in specialty running shops, is the fact that they are not known, is that a plus or is that a minus? Now, I did a quick survey this morning on, matter of fact, here we go. I did a quick survey this morning on Facebook. I just went out and I asked the question and I said, hey, have you guys heard of On Running shoes? Just a blanket question, and I said use a sad emoji or a care emoji. Now, when we go to the sad emoji, there's about what, one, I'm looking over here, I'm counting the people. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 people said they had not ever heard of On Running. One person said they did. Now, in this list, and I'm going through it, all of these people are black except one. This person is white. So there's an interesting thing that's available to On Running. They can either look to grow by doing three things. They're going to have to add a demographic, which obviously they are not very well known with a certain segment of the population outside of specialty running. They're going to have to increase the doors so they can introduce the product to people, or they're going to have to open up wholesale accounts. And from what I understand, On Running has a really good place inside of specialty running. It's not an inexpensive product, all right? So if I click on it and I click on these shoes, you're looking at $140 for a pair of running shoes, $129, $149. That's at the premium end of running shoes. That's a premium shoe. Anything above $150 is a high to, premium product. So you're asking people to pay this money. Now, if you go out and add wholesale accounts, you're placing yourself in a difficult situation of doing what? And they've had all the growth that they've had has been primarily in direct to consumer. Now, you can go to their prospectus and find information about their growth, and they're going to tell you most of our growth has been in DTC. We've grown, I think they said it's like 30 or 40% with direct to consumer. But direct to consumer is great for a private company. For a public company, you have to get more people into that brand. Is the lack of recognition by people on going to hurt them, or do they have enough time to fix that issue? So it's a good thing to discuss. It's Friday. I hope you guys are going to have a fantastic weekend. Wrote a really good article on eBay on the website. If you guys want to go to the site and read that, it's arch-usa.com. I appreciate all you new subscribers, man. I'm going to try to make sure I do a little bit more of these videos, and I'm definitely going to do a video for you guys analyzing third-party resale, because I know a lot of people are interested in that. But that's it. I appreciate all you new subscribers. Like I just said, arch-usa.com. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And what is On Running? Because remember, next week, Allbirds is going through the same thing. Allbirds is going to launch an IPO. So is the fact that not a lot of people are aware of On Running a plus or a minus? That's the question. Leave a comment if you like. See you guys on the next one. Peace.